Welcome back to another video. Today we're making macro-friendly Asian pork skewers. These are high in protein, low in fat, with a side of rice so you can decide exactly how many carbs you need. Right now I'm cutting a 500 gram pork tenderloin into thin, even strips that we're going to marinate before skewering. We're on the 7th week of my 8-week cut and I'm down 9 pounds so far. This week, I stayed disciplined by eating 1,800 calories or less every single day while eating some pretty great meals. I also did cardio 5 times this week, which was 5 one-hour incline walks on the treadmill, and on Sunday, I weighed in at 163 pounds, which is right on target for my plan. As always, you can follow exactly what I'm eating on Instagram and check out my fall to spring fitness plan in the description below. I've chosen pork tenderloin for this recipe because it's very lean, a lot of protein, not a lot of fat. Lean meats tend to dry out quickly, but don't worry, I have a great tip for making sure this stays tender. We'll start by adding 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar, or regular sugar if that's all you have, and optionally a tablespoon of tapioca starch to bind everything together. For tenderizing, we'll add half a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda changes the texture of the meat and makes it much more tender and delicious. If you've ever wondered why meat in a stir fry is so much more tender at an Asian restaurant, this is why. Baking soda is a game changer. You can use it on pieces of chicken, beef, or pork. Next, I'm going to add in 2 cloves of garlic and 1 clove of ginger. So this week has been incredibly dialed in for me. I realized that if I want to hit this 160 pound goal by November 16th, there's no more fooling around. Every day counts. I find that the only way I can stay truly disciplined about anything is by making a decision in my mind and deciding that it's non-negotiable. For example, when I worked in an office, to me it was non-negotiable that I had to get to work on time. So I got up at 7:30 every day, even if I didn't want to, and I got to work on time. And I think that's the case for most people when it comes to work. But when it comes to other aspects of life, people give themselves more slack. You need to ask yourself, what are your priorities in life, and then align your mind frame accordingly. This current fitness plan has become a big priority. So mentally, I've decided that doing cardio 5 days a week is as much of a non-negotiable as getting to work on time. It's just something I have to do. We're going to mix our pork mixture and refrigerate for at least 1 hour while we work on our rice. I have 1.5 cups of water in a pot, and I'm going to add some salt and heat that until it boils. In the meantime, we're going to measure out 1 cup of rice and rinse that rice until the water runs clear. Then we'll get started on our skewers. I've made a lot of great things this week. Pizza, chicken cutlets, osobuco, tacos, while staying within my 1,800 calorie goal. When I know I'm going to have a meal that might be higher calorie, I plan for it. I'll usually fast until noon, only having black coffee. This suppresses my appetite a bit. And I'll also log my macros for the big meal I'm going to have before I've even had my first meal of the day. For example, if I know I'm going to have a high-fat 900 calorie pizza for dinner, I'll add the macros to my tracker at the beginning of the day, and I'll make a conscious effort for my breakfast and my lunch to be lower in fat and lower in total calories. I'm going to eyeball these into 3 skewers, but you can always weigh each skewer if you want to be incredibly precise with your macros. We're going to have 1 of these 3 skewers for dinner. Our water's boiling, so we'll add in our rice and turn down the heat just above the lowest setting on the stove. About a 1 or 2 on 10. We'll add a little oil, give it a mix, and let that go for 12 to 15 minutes. Just make sure to set a timer. Now that these skewers are done, we're going to get them on our griddle. You want to heat your griddle on medium to medium-low heat. We want them to cook slowly so that the inside cooks before the outside burns. If you don't have a griddle, you can do these on a barbecue, or even in your oven on the top rack on a low broil. Just make sure to keep an eye on them and turn them frequently. To continue, don't get me wrong, part of this fitness plan is to look physically fit. However, a bigger part of this is truly to feel good, and I mean that in multiple ways. Since I've started working out again consistently, which has been about 2 years now, I feel physically better, I haven't gotten sick once, I'm mentally clearer, I'm more motivated, and all other areas of my life seem to have significantly improved. I think people have this idea that working out is only to look more fit or to be healthier without really knowing what healthier means. And I think it's a bit of a trap because if your goal is superficial or not specific, your motivation is probably going to fade pretty quick. So assess how you feel mentally, physically, situationally in life right now, and set yourself a real goal. Start with 1 goal, not 2 or 3, and decide on a non-negotiable habit you're going to do to achieve that goal. Personally, I find this is the best way to create real change. These pork skewers are done, We'll get a cup of rice in our bowl, add one of our skewers, and you can top this off with some green onions, some sesame seeds, or add some kimchi on the side like I did if you need a veggie. Kimchi has some great macros. All in all, this meal comes to 41 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat, 67 grams of carbs with only 580 calories. These taste delicious. I highly recommend you give these pork skewers a try. Thanks for watching today. Please subscribe if you'd like to see my progress over the coming year. We're soon heading into bulking season. As always, you can follow me on Instagram where I'll post all my meals every single day so you can see exactly what I'm eating. And that's it for today. Remember, set yourself a goal, make it non-negotiable, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.